Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to a special session on IPA where we're going to talk to Christian Haynes. He is an animator who has a Kickstarter up and running right now for his animated series called Zack in Time. Go check it out. Links are in the show notes. And thank you for tuning in. Welcome to IPA Sessions. Welcome to IPA Sessions, a podcast for independent artists. I'm your host, Kay Jacob. As always, this is a place where we like to try and provide inspirations for practical applications in entertainment. And today, I can't think of a greater example of a practical application and getting something started. And I have an amazing guest on today. He is an animator who is the writer, director, and creator of a series that he has launched through Kickstarter to make it a actual animated series called Zack in Time. I have on the show today Christian Haynes. Say hi.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Thank you for doing this. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you and what all do you do? And then tell us about Zack in Time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like you said in the intro, your name's Christian Haynes. I wrote, directed, and created Zack in Time. I first came up with the idea for Zack in Time actually back in 2014. It was my senior thesis project at Biola University in Southern California. And it really kind of came at a time when I was kind of working on other people's projects. I wasn't really feeling creatively fulfilled in a way. And one of my friends just said like, hey, just come up with a side project, come with an idea that you would love to see. I was like, yeah, that's actually a really good idea. So I just like grabbed my notebook, pen, just started writing down different ideas of like things that I would love to see, like secret agents, time travel, teenagers, everything
All the
like
cool
that.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. All these ideas I've always had, like growing up, and like different TV shows I watched, that had to do with like a young protagonist, or like and then they're kind of thrust into like this epic adventure. So all that kind of like was kind of flooding into my brain at the time, but I couldn't really come up with like an individual concept for all those ideas. So I decided to just mash them together. So it was like a teenager who finds a time traveling device, and then becomes a secret agent as a result of it. And then Zack in Time was born out of that. And it was interesting because at first like I kind of pictured it as like a 22-minute pilot episode, but then obviously it's like on a college level budget, you can't really do that. So I just kind of
Right.
mashed it down into like a pitch trailer. It's on my YouTube channel. It's like like a it's like an early effort at animation. Animation wasn't really big at my school at the time. Everyone was really more into like live action stuff. So it kind of like was kind of like grasping at straws, trying to find like people who were excited about animation and who would want to come on board for it. But I found a good group of animators, and they helped me out. And one of them was actually Paige Powell Revis, who's actually the producer on this current version of
Okay.
Zack in Time. So that's kind of how we met, through other projects that we worked on with like our friends and stuff like that. We made the pitch trailer. I thought it was going to be like my kind of like my gateway into finding jobs in the animation industry. Didn't quite happen. Still needed a lot more experience and a lot more stuff like that. So I kind of put it on the shelf. Did other kind of production assistant jobs, other kind of quality control operation jobs and stuff like that in the industry. And I wasn't really kind of happy at the time. But Zack in Time was always in the back of my mind of like, it was like that was always that project that I loved like working on and creating. So I wanted to just pick it up off the shelf, and then I actually met up with Paige at an animation expo. I think it was like the CTN expo, like one of the years. I think it was like 2017. I think this was 2018.
Okay.
I just told her about the project again, and she was like, "Yeah, I really want to get into animation too. I'm working on all these jobs that I'm not really quite happy with. So why don't we just pick that back off the shelf and start working on it?" So for the past, I think from like 2019, like late 2019 is when we started working on it a little bit. And then really like 2020, when the pandemic hit, everyone lost their jobs, the world shut down. That's really
Yeah.
when like everyone's kind of trying to find like stuff to work on. And,
That's when we actually got creative because we were locked inside going stir crazy.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. We just needed something to work on. We're all working remotely anyway. So Paige, founded this company called I'm Happy back in 2020. And, she kind of opened the door for people who just wanted to work on something, fun, creative. And, that we've been kind of working on it, building slowly but surely, building our crew for the past 4.5 years. And then now we're finally at this point where, the pilot's finally done. It's about 11-minute pilot episode. It was originally like a feature long script. And then obviously we don't have the budget to make an entire feature. So I just decided to make it into like a web series kind of thing, quote unquote. And
Right.
then we're kind of working on the first 11 minutes of it. And then, yeah, we're finally finished the pilot episode. And now we're kind of in this position where we're doing a Kickstarter campaign in order to get it funded. So that's kind of where we're at today.
I think that's cool too, especially with the web series because today's attention span, especially with the younger kids. I'm a parent myself, and I have an 8-year-old, and if it's longer than 15 minutes, he's really not going to commit to it. So I think that's smart doing these small segments. I remember as a kid, watching Cartoon Network, like shows like Cow and Chicken, those older cartoons. They used to do 2 episodes in a 30-minute block, so they were like 10 to 12 minutes long plus commercials. So I think that's really smart to do that. Plus, making it a web series, getting it out there for these younger viewers to be able to see is really smart on your part. And also makes me kind of excited because that means do I potentially get 2 episodes in a 30-minute block? Because that's pretty cool. Can you tell me about Zack in Time? I know that you gave us a brief run through, but could you really give us a nice synopsis of everything, why you created this show and what it's at least maybe what the pilot itself is really focused on to set up the series, because I'm excited about this and it looks great. I We'll get into it more with the conversation, I know, because I love the artistry and what you've animated. But first, just kind of take us through Zack in Time.
Yeah, definitely. So the basic premise of the show is about a 13-year-old biracial boy named Zack who finds a time traveling watch created by a secret government agency. And then as a result, he's able to kind of go through like time traveling adventures with his two best friends, Kendall and Angela. And like every episode is going to be like a different adventure that they go on. They learn like a life lesson. They like learn more about themselves. They become stronger as friends. And then also in the meantime, there's this whole, secret agency side storyline going on. So like as the story goes on, they become kind of more kind of thrusted into the secret agency, learn to become junior agents, and then also fight like enemies and like the different kind of like villains of the story as well, who are also after the
It's
watch.
cool.
So yeah, it's kind of like, just like those fun, TV shows that we had, back in like the 2000s. This is like, the early 2000s were like a huge inspiration for me. All these like different like adventures that these young protagonists go on. They're fighting
Right.
villains and trying to save the day and stuff like that. So yeah,
Well,
that's
like a little
basically
Johnny Quest too to it in a way as well. A little Johnny Quest, little
yeah.
Danny Phantom. I
Mhm.
mentioned to you off air that I actually I love the style that you created because it reminded me of Danny Phantom, but the story arc and what's happening, the secret agents and all that, kind of makes me feel it's a little inspired by Johnny Quest or that type of story that they used to tell.
Yeah, definitely. I actually didn't watch Johnny Quest growing up. I know of it though, but I was really more inspired by like Kim Possible. That
Ah,
was
Kim
like
Possible. Yep.
yeah,
Yep. I
that
remember
was
Kim
definitely a huge
Possible.
inspiration for sure.
Yeah.
Like a teenager who's also a secret agent going on missions, but also trying to deal with like, like their crushes and like their bullies and like their parents and all this stuff like
The
that. So
teenage life of growing up.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
That's so cool. I dig it, man. And speaking of the animation, it looks really good, especially from what I've seen on your Kickstarter page. The animation looks really good. Now, is that a team that you have that you've worked together with, or was it all just you for this pilot?
No, this is all the team. I didn't actually do any animation on this project. I did like kind of like initial designs
Okay.
and initial kind of like descriptions for the characters of like what I wanted to see. But that was really like all our team. Like I give all the credit to them for sure. Like we have an amazing team, and we have about I don't know the exact number, but we have at least like 100 people who've worked over
Wow.
these past like kind of like from different times, not like all at the same time, but like from like 2020 to now, who've kind of been in and out of the project working on it. And they're all from all around the world. We have people from like, like South America, from Europe, from, here in the States, just like from everywhere, really, like India. Just it's kind of crazy like how Paige was able to kind of open the door to all these creators,
That's
like
so
not just like
cool.
locally, but like globally as
Yeah.
well. So yeah, it kind of just it's kind of like mind boggling to think like, I could be like talking to someone who's like in the UK right now, or who's like, in Brazil or something, working on this project, and like seeing all their different talents come together for this thing is really kind of really mind blowing in a way.
That's awesome, man. And congrats on everything that you've done so far. Tell us about the Kickstarter. How can we help with this? And what is the focus and the goal for this Kickstarter?
So we're hoping to have like we right now we have a $40,000 goal right now. We have a little bit over 12,000 left to go on our Kickstarter, and we have about
That's great.
15 days left of our campaign left. So yeah, we're just trying to raise funds as quickly as possible. We have an amazing coach on our team. His name is Justin Giddings. He's the Kickstarter guy. He's like a coach who helps people out with their projects. He has like a 97% success rate on his projects, and he's been very helpful, like giving Paige and I like different tips and tricks in order to have like the most successful campaign possible. We were able to raise like $10,000 within the first 24 hours. And then we had a matching campaign where we gained an additional 100 backers, as well as like another 5K raise, and then another 5K from one of our sponsors. So yeah, he has like a lot of like great, amazing tips and tricks to help us out. And then this next week, we're hoping to have like kind of like a challenge kind of campaign where like he's like, hey, if I do like something funny or embarrassing, I'll do it if you like donate this much amount. So we're kind of collaborating on ideas for that. So it's actually a really fun like campaign. Definitely like challenging and stressful at times, but I think overall seeing like the success that it's accumulating over these past like few weeks or so, and seeing how many people are interested in this project and like want to support it, and the way to like kind of reconnect with your community, like people you might have not have talked to like 10 years ago, you can kind of reconnect with them, like talk to them about the project, things like that. It's been really helpful. But yeah, as far as like helping us out, like if you want to just like share the project, if you want to contribute, awesome, but we're not gonna like pressure you to do it. I know like finances are really stressful for people, but if you like to share it with people, just to bring more awareness to the project, that'd be amazing, and to the campaign as well. But yeah, anything really can help, even if it's like as small as like $1 or something. But yeah, honestly, like as long as we're like kind of getting the word out about the project and letting people know about it, then that's all we can really ask for sure.
Right, getting eyes on it, that helps. I mean,
Hmm.
it's an animation, you want people to watch it. And
Yeah.
I think that's cool. That's part of why we're doing this podcast today. This is a little different. This is kind of a special that we're doing because we're on a time crunch, and you're doing a Kickstarter, and it's up and running right now as we speak. So I'm hoping that folks can at least go check it out, look at it, put it on your radar. If you got $1, donate $1. Like Christian said, they just want to make, spread the word, get the info out there about Zack in Time, which I think is a really cool idea. I love the concept. Again, as I said, I really like the style, the way the animation looks. It reminds me of when I was younger. I'm an old fogey now, but I really, really dig what's happening, and I think it's so cool that you're getting this, up and running. This is a truly independent route, and you've worked and collaborate with so many amazing artists. This is something that you designed and created, and you made a team effort to make it happen. It's not just you now; it's bigger than you, and I think that's so great. I'm sorry we don't have Paige on here today too, because we could have chatted with her as well. Because it sounds like she's been helping out tremendously with the getting the backing and taking it down the proper ways of trying to get it out there. Once you make your goal, what is your intent with this project? Do you want it on Disney? Are you thinking Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network? I know there's so many options, but what do you feel is something that you like, or a direction you'd like to take it? I know you don't have to go specific with it, but just in general, what is the direction you take it? Do you want it on streaming networks, or do you want to just be able to create a series you love on YouTube and as a webisode?
Yeah, I think Paige and I have been having a lot of conversations about it, and I think we're leaning more towards just being completely, independent, and kind of growing our YouTube channel, and then having Zack and Time kind of be that, the way to open the door to that.
That's cool.
Um, yeah, definitely. We would love to do an episode 2 for sure. I actually, as kind of like maybe about the past like 2 years or so, me and have a writer's room of incredible writers, and we've actually written out about 24 episodes for season one of Zack and Time. So, I mean, if we can at least get to episode two, that'd be amazing.
So the
Um,
story is there. There's an arc. There's all kinds of goodies to come. So I like that. Nice.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, it was so fun just being in the writers' room. Just like that was always like a dream of mine. If I had like a job in the industry to just like be in a writers' room, just like no matter what the job is. Like I love collaborating with other writers, coming up with storylines and characters and moments and everything like that. It was all virtual. Like we weren't in the actual physical room. Like it was all kind of over like Discord or like Zoom or something like that. But it was still like very like collaborative and fun, and coming up with different ideas and stuff like that. And it honestly really helped to kind of shape the world of Zack and Time, because at first like I originally had Zack and Time as like three feature films, kind of like a trilogy. But then as I was talking with Paige, like we kind of wanted to expand it more into like a TV series. And at first I
Yeah.
was wanting it to be more of like a serialized TV show, like one episode leads into the next one. But then she was really kind of encouraging me to have it be more episodic. So we kind of like a bit of like best of both worlds. Like the first couple episodes are a little bit more serialized, kind of like has to do with like the origin story and the characters. Then as the story goes on, it becomes a little bit more episodic as far as season one, and then
Yeah. Get
season
some of
two
those
and
fun
three.
little one-offs.
Yeah, exactly. Like the kids just go on an adventure, learn a life lessons, and then come back, and then there are better people at the end. But the first couple episodes are a little bit more serialized, where it's kind of explaining the origin story of the characters, kind of introducing everyone, and then
Yeah.
once everyone's all introduced, then we can kind of get into like the episodic adventures. But yeah, that's kind of like what we were wanting to do for season one. Yeah, kind of like have kind of expand it more out into like an actual series instead of just like just like one long movie or something like that.
Okay. And you said that, the pilot episode is completed. So I'm assuming that means you have a cast. As we know, voice acting is very important when it comes to animation to bring these characters to life. Can you tell me a little bit about your cast and who all is involved in that? And who's the voice of Zach?
His name is Jonathan Walters. He is actually a friend of Paige's. They actually worked on a couple projects together, and yeah, he's an incredible actor for sure. Like I think he just graduated from like NYU or something for acting and everything like that. So yeah, he's an amazing actor, and he just brought so much like personality to Zach. He was like basing his voice on kind of like the design of Zach, where he's kind of like Zach's kind of like he's kind of goofy looking, but he's also kind of has some swagger to him. So kind of like he balanced that out a little bit, where like he thinks he's cool, but he's not really cool. He's kind of like kind of like a nerd, but he's also can kind of stand up for himself. So he really kind of brought that all into Zach's character. And yeah, I'm really hoping that we could fund the rest of the season, because I loved working with all the actors. Like again, it was all over Zoom, it was all virtual, because it was like 2020 actually when we recorded all the voices, so we're all kind of in lockdown, so I wasn't actually in a physical room with them. And then none of the actors actually met each other in person. It was all all separate individually,
Oh,
recording
wow.
all of them. So it was a kind of an interesting experience, with Paige editing the voices together, because like none of them actually were acting with each other. We recorded all the voices individually, and then she edited them all together. But seeing them in animation together, it really feels like they're all kind of in one space with each other. But
Oh,
yeah,
that's
we
so
have
cool.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have an amazing voice cast for sure, and it was so much fun. So yeah, I'm hoping that we can fund the rest of the season. I can like work with them again, because it was such a great experience.
I'm rooting for you, man. Listen, the Kickstarter is out right now. There are links in the show notes, but tell everyone where they can go for the Kickstarter and where they can follow you at.
Yeah, for sure. It's kickstarter.com, slash Zack and Time, like 2D animated series. We're actually one of the like projects quoted like projects we love. So we have that little badge at the bottom of our page. So, we can get more eyes on it. Just because we got like $10,000 within the first 24 hours. So we have that little kind of like badge, I guess. So
That's
yeah, it
nice.
kind of helps to bring more attention to the project. But yeah, you can find it there. We're on pretty much every social media platform. We're on Facebook, X. I was about to say Twitter, but no, it's X.
X Twitter.
Exactly, X, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, on Pages I'm Happy channel. So you can find us anywhere. Just type in Zack and Time, and yeah, you'll find us there.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
This is great, man. Can I ask you a couple of questions about this process? Do you have a little time to spare? I know we want to keep this a little short, but I just want to ask you, what do you feel for doing this Kickstarter so far has been a big challenge for you?
Yeah, I think just balancing like personal life with Kickstarter life. Like it's like one of those things where, it's not like a 9 to 5 job for the Kickstarter, it's like evenings and weekends and everything like that. So it's like, there's like ups and downs with it, like this week, we're currently in week 3. This is like kind of like the dead week. So there's not really too much going on, but like that first launch day and that like the days following, like those first like 3, 4 days were definitely the most stressful days for sure. Trying to raise that, 10K within the first 24 hours. And then our matching campaign was also pretty stressful as well, trying to find sponsors and then, trying to get people to trying to gain another 100 backers and then also trying to, gain another like $5,000 and everything like that was pretty stressful. So, kind of like ekes into like your personal life as well. Like I have an amazing wife who's super supportive, but, sometimes like I'd be on my phone, trying to, repost social media things or like, answer questions about the Kickstarter stuff. And then, my wife and I and our 19-year-old, excuse me, 19-month-old son, I would be like at the fair or something, and I'd be like on my phone or something doing that. So I would kind of have that disconnect, and I
Put
wouldn't
it
really
down
be
and eat dinner
present.
with us.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. We were like, at dinner time, I would have like the phone at the table because like I was like, oh, maybe a sponsor will contact me. So there's some stressful times, balancing stuff out. But what's good, what Justin said is like, there'll be really busy weeks and there'll be really slow weeks. So these slow weeks, this early week 3, this slow week, I've been kind of taking advantage of, just resting a little bit, working on some other stuff, spending time with my family, stuff like that. So yeah, there's kind of like stuff that you don't really foresee when you first launch a Kickstarter. Because I never launched a Kickstarter before. Like I kind of worked on like some smaller college stuff where you just raise like a couple $1,000s, but nothing to this scale for
Yeah,
sure.
right.
So yeah, it's definitely a lot, but it's a learning experience for sure. So if I ever do another one, I'll know what I'm in for and know how to balance things and have a little bit more boundaries, in the future. But yeah, it's definitely been a learning experience, and I've learned a lot from it, and yeah, I think for the better for sure.
Okay. I want to ask too, and these are just a couple of short questions. Normally in my usually longer extended interviews, I ask some really fun questions, but I want to keep this brief because I just want people to listen and support you and check out your Kickstarter. And of course, once everything is finalized, I'm going to have you come back on and we're going to sit down and have a really long, in-depth interview. But as far as the Kickstarter stuff goes, what has been a really valuable experience for you with this all? Like, what has made you feel like you actually have improved and grown as a content creator, as an animator through this
Yeah.
Kickstarter?
Yeah, for sure. I think when it comes to marketing, I feel like I would kind of define myself as more of like just a creative person. Like if I could just like be in my room all day and just like write or draw or like make a YouTube video or something, I'd be happy. But this is really like it's really kind of like open myself up to like marketing myself. Coming up with like thinking about the financial sides of things.
Right.
Things that you don't really think about.
The
Yeah,
stuff we don't care about, but we have to get it done.
exactly, exactly.
We just
Yep.
want to make cool stuff for people to watch.
Yeah, exactly. Because like a lot of artists and stuff like that, they just want to be in like their own little space. They don't really want to talk to people. They just want to just do their thing. But this is really kind of like open myself up. I can't even think of like how many videos I've recorded of myself. Like talking about the characters or like the world or like, hey, we hit this milestone or here's this is our goal or thank you so much and everything like that. Like there's like our Kickstarter page or social media is like a lot of me just kind of like blasting the project and stuff like that. And then not only that, but also just like reaching out to my community, like I said earlier, reaching out to people who I haven't talked to in like 10 years, 15 years or something to like, either support the project or just share the project. And, of course you get those people who, kind of just ignore you or is like, it's like, oh, like you haven't talked to me in like 10 years, but now that you need some money and like, now you reach out. But then that's like a small minority, but like the majority of people are like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so glad that we can reconnect. And, I'm so glad that you're working on this project. I know like back in college you were talking about this thing and now you're actually working on it. Like, this is so cool. Yeah, I want to support you. And yeah, it's really like helped me to like open up my network and my community and reconnect with people and see what they're doing in their lives and stuff like that. Because like like some people I haven't talked to them, like they're married, they have kids now, and then I can relate to them on that level now because I'm married and like have a son and everything like that, so we can kind of connect on that level and then keep each other in each other's like contacts and stuff like that. So it's been a really like opening experience for me, and just seeing how much love and support there is for this project and everything like that is kind of surprising because like like me, Paige, the crew, been kind of working on this thing for 4 years. We're kind of in our own little bubble. But then now that we're kind of releasing it out to the world, potentially, seeing like how many people, are interacting, commenting on our stuff, reposting our stuff, and, the love and support that they have, and they want to see us succeed. It's like, it's amazing. So yeah, it's definitely been an eye-opening experience, and yeah, something that I'll definitely cherish for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, that sounds incredible. And it's one of those things like you talk about it for so long, but when people actually see you actively doing it and they're like, oh, this project that you've been working on, it's happening. And you're like, yeah, this is happening. We just need a little extra help here. And so I congratulate you, man. That's awesome to hear. It sounds like this is something done with love. It's a passion project. And again, the Kickstarter is out there. Go support Christian, go support Paige, help get Zack in time out on time. My last question for you is, I just want to know, man, is there any advice you have for any artists out there that's looking to do their own Kickstarter campaign? Any kind of suggestions and tips you might have for them when they're getting that started? I know this is new for you, maybe from what you've learned. Do you offer any advice for them?
Yeah, something that our coach Justin taught us is to at least have 90 days prepared, 90 days of prep before you launch the Kickstarter, which has been very helpful because, if we just like, oh, we'll just like, work on it for like a month or so and then we'll launch it, like we'd be sunk. So having that 90 days, like one of the important things is like having like, it's called a pad list. It's stands for personal/professional, acquaintance, and then the do not contact list. It's like basically like a list of like all your contacts, email, phone, social media, and then to pre-write emails, to talk about, not only talk about the project, but like also I want to reconnect with you. I also, something that you want to personally connect with them in a way. So that's been very, very helpful for sure. Kind of reaching out to seeing your network in a way. Cause like some people are just like, well, how am I going to like connect with all these people? How are we going to raise all this money? And then kind of going back into like my old, email contact sheet or like my old like phone contact sheet. Just like, oh, there's like so many people in my life that, that I've connected with and everything like that, who could, potentially help, or even if they can't help, just like something I can like reconnect with, because like one of those things that like people do is like, oh man, I haven't talked to this person in 10 years, but like, what do I say? Or like, how do I connect? And like, this is like a good excuse to like, reconnect with someone and everything like that, cause I feel like I'm kind of like more of like an introvert kind of. Yeah, I
We all
can be
are in a way.
extroverted, but like, yeah, exactly. I can be introverted, so like, I don't really want to like talk to people. Like, I'm really like shy and everything like that, unless I'm like talking about something I'm passionate about. So this is like a good excuse to like, kind of like open up myself, reconnect with people, and then just see like how everyone's doing in their life. So that's something I would say, as far as like preparing for a Kickstarter, is like give yourself as big a window beforehand to prepare for it, and then yeah, have like a good team around you to like help support you and everything like that. You don't have to do this alone. Have like a good core team, even if it's just like 5, 6, 7 people around you, who are like really committed and passionate about seeing your project through. So yeah, I guess I would say those are the things I would say. And then as far as like the actual launch of the Kickstarter, like there'll definitely be ups and downs for sure. There'll definitely be some stressful moments, but there'll also be like some moments of like, just sit back and, just relax a little bit and then just see like, wow, look what we accomplished so far. Look how much we've raised so far. Look how many people are supporting it. So yeah, I would say don't get so like laser focused on like, oh man, we didn't reach our goal today, or like, oh, it's getting really slow. It's like it'll happen. Like, there'll be ups and downs with it. Just like
Right.
just prepare yourself for it. So yeah, I
Embrace
guess
it
that would
all.
be like the advice I would have as far as like preparing, and then the actual launch for a Kickstarter campaign.
That's awesome. Christian, thank you so much, man. I'm so sad that we don't get to sit down and have a really long, deep, in-depth conversation. We want to keep this short because we want to get it out in time for the Kickstarter. But once this is finalized, once everything is out there, the pilot episode is aired in full for people to go and watch. I'm going to have you come back on. We're going to sit down and have a nice long conversation about everything you've been going through. You are incredible to talk to. You are very passionate. I'm excited for you. So please, to all the listeners out there are links in the show notes. Go check out the Kickstarter, watch the videos that Christian and his team have put out there, and give them your support. Throw a little dollar their way if you can. If anything, watch it. It helps. Just putting eyes on it helps. Spread the word. Christian, if there's anything else you'd like to say, please say it now. And of course, there are links in the show notes for the Kickstarter, but promote yourself. Put the other projects you have out there. I know you have a YouTube page that you mentioned. You have social media. How can people find you and show you some support?
Yeah, definitely. Like I was saying earlier, like I'm on pretty much every single social media platform. Any social media platform that Zack and Time is on, I'm on as well. Just so I can like help, like like and share and comment and all everything like that. So yeah, if you like listen back to like all the different social media platforms that I said, you can just find me there. Usually, if you just type in like Christian Dion Haynes or Christian Dion H or something in any of the social media platforms, you'll find me. Or if you just like look through social media and then you just see the Zack and Time social media, you'll see me like tagged in some of them, so you can just click that and follow me that way. But yeah, I'm pretty much every platform, and then yeah, YouTube as well. Mr. Homemade Films one for sure.
Awesome. Thank you again. And to listeners out there, please, as we stated, check them out, support them, and until the next time, everyone, stay golden. Thanks for watching, everyone, and listening. Appreciate y'all tuning into this special session. Christian's Kickstarter is up and running right now. Do yourself a favor, click on the links in the show note and go show some support. If you can offer $1, offer $1. If you can offer more, great. If anything, at least look at it, check it out, and spread the word. Christian would really love to have the help. And again, as always, IPA appreciates you guys. And now here's a little campaign video for Christian's Kickstarter, Zack and Time.
Secret agents, shootouts, car chases, heroes, villains, time travel. Middle school?
Hi, I'm Christian Haynes, the writer, director, and creator of Zack and Time.
And I'm Paige Powell-Revis, the producer of Zack and Time.
Zack is a biracial 13-year-old boy who moves to a small town and struggles to fit in at his new middle school and find his place in life.
That is, until he stumbles upon a time-traveling watch created by a secret government agency.
In this action-packed animated series, Zack must protect the watch in his new city from shadowy threats throughout history.
All while being a normal teenager with school, friends, bullies, and a crush.
The creation and production of Zack and Time is important to us for two different reasons: to tell a fun and authentic story that reflects the experiences of viewers who want to find a place in life.
And to provide a collaborative space in the animation industry that launches careers.
Watching a lot of like cartoons growing up, like there wasn't really any kind of like biracial characters out there. And then, just me being in interracial marriage, my wife is white and we have a biracial son. And I just wanted to have something that, represents him, something that he could watch and say, hey, Daddy, you created a show that with the kid who looks just like me. I grew up in a sort of, racially diverse elementary school. So then when my dad got a new job in Maryland and moved the whole family there, I just felt really isolated. So I really just wanted to create a show that kind of reflected, kids who feel like outsiders in their lives, and something that that they can respond to.
Something that was a big hurdle for me when I graduated was trying to find an internship or a job. Every application said, for an entry-level position, you need 2+ years of experience. Well, where are you supposed to get that? I started networking, and this was an issue for a lot of other people. That provided a really unique opportunity to pivot and build a virtual learning studio or in-between space where students like me could get the experience they need, the portfolio pieces they need. Christian and I were two people trying to make an animation, and it grew to over 175 creatives worldwide. Some of our collaborators have gone on to work or intern at Netflix, DreamWorks, Spa Studios, some of the big ones. As you probably noticed, we're creatives with big goals and big dreams. That's why we're launching a Kickstarter campaign to bring the story to life.
We're hoping to gain a fan base and financial support to not only cover the cost of the pilot episode, but an entire season of Zack and Time, which is ready to produce.
We believe in this story, the characters, and the creative network that we built.
We humbly request that you help us by financially backing our campaign and helping us get the word out by sharing our project.
Together, we can have the opportunity to produce more family-friendly content with more aspiring creators.
We're so excited about this project. We can't wait to take the journey with you to the future of Zack and Time.
Zack and Time.